Hey, what up, Atlanta? And it's your boy, the big boss, Ricky Ross. Y'all listening to my man, Kennedy Lucas, on his show, K.L.P Aftermath. It's the hottest show on right now. Stay tuned.
It's the K.L.P Aftermath.
You're locked into the man. Check this out.
Here we go.
It's time. You're live and in the mix with ATL Zone.
K.L.P, Kennedy Lucas.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Hi, this is Rihanna.
Hey, what's up? This is Ludacris.
What's up, y'all? This is Nicki Minaj.
You're rocking with the best. It's the #1 station blazing the airwaves.
Right here, so keep it locked.
What's up, y'all? This is Beyonce, and you listening to my station.
Powered by the Core 94.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. This is, of course, the K.L.P Aftermath with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. We've got T up in the building, and I got to say right off the back, T, you know, happy Friday the 13th, buddy. Yes, of course, today is May 13th, Friday the 13th, if you will. We're here in the studio bringing together another exciting episode here today for the podcast, K.L.P Aftermath, the hottest podcast of the summer. And I really do hope that you guys are ready for this one because, you know, we've got the equipment ready. This might be an hour-long episode, guys, because there's just so much we got to talk about. I joke with you, T, before we got on air today, there were some things that I brought up that happened to me today. Good, well, kind of not good things, but it's okay because I'm alive and well, but kind of dabbling into the Friday the 13th suspicion. Guys, let me tell you, and I'm gonna go right off the bat with this one, T. Atlanta drivers are getting more stupider and stupider and stupider when it comes to driving, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you guys not. I felt like I've almost been in 2 accidents today because a lot of people are just driving for themselves. And it was just crazy how it happened because today is the Friday the 13th day. And, you know, usually with that, it's kind of a scary thing. You got to watch out. You got to be careful because it's Friday the 13th, that whole superstition kind of thing out there in the medium right now. And a part of me is like, okay, I kind of believe in this. I really do believe in this because I almost got into 2 accidents today. Of course, I'm driving on 20, right? And shout out to the people who live on 20. That's the horrible highway ever to drive on, but sometimes I got to get where I'm going to. And I'm driving on 20, and this girl, brand new Honda Civic, you know, she's driving, she gets over or tries to get over, didn't signal, didn't look, she just was getting over, almost collided with me. And I honked like really loud and I swerved over, and thank God nobody was on my left side because I would have collided with somebody on my left if there was a driver to my left. But thank God, and I thank God for this, because if there was a driver to my left, I could have gotten into an accident. But you know, I veered over to the left, swerved back to the right lane that I'm in, and you know, I pulled up beside her, driving beside her. This girl was just laughing, so she thought it was funny. So I ended up telling her for about 5 miles or so, I was following close behind her, and she sped up, I sped up, she waved through traffic, I waved through traffic. I was trying to be careful because usually when you do something like that, it's as if you're speed racing and then you get pulled over. Thank God I didn't get pulled over, but I was heated at the moment. And of course, as I'm driving, you know, a truck tries to veer over. He signaled, but you know, I was right next to him trying to get over, almost sandwiched me. So I honked at him. So there's just a lesson to all of my Atlanta people out there. Please drive safe. Atlanta is the #1 city where we have the most accidents, either on 285, on 20, 85, and 316. I tell you guys, please drive carefully. Because I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of Atlanta drivers not paying attention because they're either on their phone, they just don't care. Because that's why our insurance is high. This is why insurance is high. Some insurance companies say, okay, what state do you live in? Georgia. Okay. Are you in Atlanta? Yeah. Okay. That's going to be $200 in insurance for you each month, because we can't drive straight. We can't drive with caution nowadays. And it drives me crazy, T. It really does drive me crazy. But besides that, of course, we do have an exciting podcast here today. Like I said, we might go an hour because we have so much we need to talk about on tonight's episode. And I know this episode's a little bit different because usually we don't really hop on a podcast. right? T, we don't hop on podcasts on Friday nights. We only do them Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. But there's been a high demand when it comes to podcasting as of late. If you guys don't know, K.L.P in the Morning is now available on all audio platforms, being Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Audible. But of course, we premiered on May 7th the first episode of K.L.P in the Morning. You guys loved the show. I looked at our stats. Our stats were pretty good for that show. And then we did little snippets on Instagram, and a whole bunch of people watched our snippet videos. So we got to keep going with that train, guys. We got to keep going. So first of all, I do want to say thank you for those who watched and listened to K.L.P in the Morning. Yes, we are coming back. I know you guys are waiting for the next episode. And there's a reason why we won't be doing an episode this Saturday, but next Saturday, May 21st, we'll be back at the Mark Studio at Emory University to give you guys another exciting podcast, K.L.P in the Morning. Stay tuned next Saturday morning. And I say that because there's another topic we're going to talk about. We'll get to that, and that's why we're doing an episode next Saturday for K.L.P in the Morning. I'm going to get to that, guys, because we have a topic while we're skipping this weekend. But yesterday, thank you again for all of the people who came out to the live stream yesterday on our Instagram, of course, Emory Radio 1. If you guys don't want to miss the epicness, guys, you guys got to follow Emory Radio 1, guys, because it is the gram to follow. Emory Radio, of course, that houses our shows, an official Emory radio station. Of course, I did a live stream yesterday. If you guys didn't know, yesterday was my birthday. I say this very not sad. I joke with people, but I'm just very humble with it now. I can finally say I am now in my late 20s. Of course, now, as of yesterday, I turned the age of 26, and it is a age. Of course, you guys can still watch the live stream on demand on our Instagram. If you guys want to know what I talked about in yesterday's live stream, or not yesterday's, May 11th live stream, to celebrate my birthday, because we didn't do anything yesterday. It was my birthday. We went out to eat, and we did do a little snippet reel too on Instagram. A lot of viewers have seen that too. So if you guys want to catch up on my birthday spectacular event yesterday in May 11th, you just got to go to the gram, Emory Radio 1, or my personal Instagram at Kennedy Lucas KLP. So you guys do not miss it. Of course, May 20th is another good day. Of course, we've got a new album coming out. Of guys, if we marketed before, but I teamed up with my good buddy DJ Lupizzi, and we made an album called Prime Time. Of course, two DJs, two producers coming together. Me and DJ Lupizzi came together to make this collab album. Again, you guys got to go out there and see it. You guys got to go out there and check it out on all of your platforms on May 20th. I believe that is a Friday. That's going to be spectacular. I cannot wait so that music can get premiered, so you guys can enjoy it. I know we've been shoving music down people's throats this year, but you know, this is a good time for us to be making music, right, T? Because T's in the studio. He's one of our executive producers for music making as well. I got to pick on you just a little bit there, T, because we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Tidal, and Apple Music. So this is our prime time. No pun intended to the new album that's coming out next week, but this is our prime time. This is the prime time where we get into it. And I'm very, very excited for sure. And of course, my good friend K.L.P Purcell did premiere music, as we're on the topic of conversation. And today's sponsor for today's show of K.L.P Aftermath, of course, goes out to the Bounce Back Movement. My good friend K.L.P Purcell, best of luck to her right now. She is out of town traveling for a role in one of the hit shows, The Walker. So shout out to K.L.P Purcell for sure, because the Bounce Back movement has started. You guys can follow it, and I have my phone right here. If you have your phone out while you're listening to the podcast, go on over to Instagram, guys. You guys don't want to miss this one. Go to Instagram and type in, of course, in the search, The Bounce Back. Of course, that's _ The Bounce Back. So that way you guys can get the following up. That is a movement that we're starting out right now. You guys do not want to miss it. We do have a website. It's www.bookthebounceback.com for all of these schools and colleges. Can book us right now, so that way we can come out there and do some motivational speaking, giveaways, the movement, social media. We're doing a whole bunch with the Bounce Back movement, so you do not want to miss out on it. The schools, I'm talking all of the high schools out there, either if you're in Gwinnett or you're in the state of Mississippi, or even if you're in the beautiful state of New York, if you want us to get booked, so that way we can come out to your school, motivate your students, have a little fun, do a lot of giveaways. And these giveaways, I'm seeing the giveaways we're doing, obviously, and they're huge giveaways. So again, you do want to book us right now. The Bounce Back, of course, follow it. Speaking of music, because I know we just talked about music, but of course, the Bounce Back official song is now available on all major platforms. I'm talking, guys, Amazon Music. I'm talking Apple Music. I'm talking iHeartRadio. I'm talking about Tidal. Tidal's pretty big nowadays. And if you got a Tidal account, you can listen to the Bounce Back music in hi-fi. Of course, that's that high fidelity program they got with Tidal. So again, don't miss out on that music, the Bounce Back Show. Purcell, she's spitting the tracks on there. She's on the mic, and she got a producer, and she's spitting. It's a good song. I listened to the song millions of times while doing the demo reel, doing the highlight promotion video. So again, don't miss it, the Bounce Back. And shout out to my good friends Shale Purcell and the DTAI Productions. It feels good to be working with them. It's mind-blowing. Now let's get to the fun stuff of the show. And of course, I've got to talk about it. Of course, that's going on right now. I did go on our gram, right, T? You saw it. I'm getting ready to talk about this. Of course, the NCJAA, and I hope I pronounced this right, but the NCJAA men's tournament has started. If you guys don't know, and you should know by now because we're Emory Radio. Of course, I do work for Emory University. We all do work for Emory University, a great institution, and we get to participate in tournaments, sports tournaments. Of course, I was there. Oxford College of Emory University, to be exact, started their tournament today. It was very fun. It was a hot day, but it was a very fun day because we saw the Emory team, Oxford College Emory team, take on quite a few teams out there for sure. We got some free swag and some food. It was very fun. We saw the coaches there. They're getting ready to play. And to see the men teams play, and I got to say that they're playing with full heart, because after what I've seen today, and I'm pressing media, I'm covering this now, seeing the players play on the tennis court. This is the Klein Center at Oxford College of Emory University, the NCJAA men's tennis tournament. These boys are playing with passion. And typically this is to be true, because usually when it comes to a championship tournament that goes on, this is important because you win a plaque if you win a trophy, and you win a ring. I think the boys of Emory University, Oxford College, they're very, very anticipated for this tournament because the women's division, their women's team, did win their championship rings. It is very important for the men's team to win this because not only they win a trophy tee, not only they win plaques and it's on record, they win that national championship ring. That's the prize right there, where the players who went to college, they wear the ring. They can wear the ring pretty much every day if they wanted to. That's their symbol of what they accomplished as a college athlete. So I see that the players go out there, and we have, I think it was about 5 teams that came out, 5 best teams in the NCJAA Division III, might I add, because they're different divisions, right? NCJAA, tongue twister there, guys. They have different divisions. They have Division 1, 2, and 3. And I know about these tournaments and these companies because relating back to the GGC days, they are part of the NAIA and the AIA. So they have their divisions 1, 2, and 3. I believe GGC is Division 1 in the NAIA company. And then, of course, Emory is the Division 3, or at least the Oxford College of Emory University is Division 3 in the NCJAA. So there's a lot of different divisions, a lot of different companies that are running this company, but they are within the top 5 in the NCAA Division 3. And I'm rooting, obviously we're rooting for the Emory because, Emory is our base. This is how the show got started. This is how we're able to have access to Mark Studio, Emory University, working for them and having that contract there. But I'm rooting for Emory, right? Because this is the time where they shine, right? Because this is the time where the coach, shout out to Coach Pernilla, she has so many championship rings. She has 11 championship rings and 11 trophies in the case. So the anticipation is high. Everyone's nervous. Everybody's excited, but everyone's nervous because this is important. This is the most important thing that they have right now, today, tomorrow, and the championship matches on Sunday. So I will be doing a podcast again for Monday's episode to tell you guys the end result. We don't know the end result yet because it's only Friday. The championships don't end to Sunday. So I can't really speculate and say, oh, who won, because we haven't seen it yet. But congratulations to the Oxford College Emory University tennis team for making it this far. I did hear they won every match of the game of their tournament brackets today. So they're off to a great start. So I have no doubt in my mind. I'm just very quiet with it, T, because I do not want to jinx them at all. I don't want to jinx them of having great success. There's a couple players that did graduate from the Oxford College commencement this past Saturday, May 7th, guys. That's the same day I did the premiere episode of K.L.P in the morning. I gave some students some shout outs. So if you guys want to listen to that episode or watch that episode, please go on back after this podcast. But there were a player who graduated commencement, but he stayed later, obviously, for the championships. So it would mean the world to him if he won the championships, got that ring. This was his last hoorah over at Oxford College before coming over to the Emory University campus in Atlanta. Of course, moving on to our second page news, and we're going to do this right in this segment because everyone's talking about Kendrick Lamar. Of course, Kendrick Lamar's newest album came out today, and you guys can hear it in my voice. You guys can hear the difference in the voicing here on the podcast, K.L.P Aftermath Season 3, the hottest show of the summer. I'm excited to talk about Kendrick Lamar's latest album that came out today. I was excited. I knew it was coming out. I know a lot of people waited until midnight today to listen to the song on Spotify. I just was in the bed. I was knocked out. I was tired because it was my birthday yesterday and I did a lot. So I waited until this morning when I got up, got dressed, headed to the office. And on my way to the office, I listened to Kendrick Lamar's album. Let me tell you, T is a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, and I'm a huge fan too. He likes that. He's cheesing. If you guys can only see him, he's cheesing from ear to ear right now because he knows about this album. Of course, it is called Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Of course, that is a newest album, Kendrick Lamar. Of course, I had to watch other radio shows today. My favorite being The Breakfast Club, DJ Envy. Shout out to DJ Envy. He probably don't know who I am, but he probably don't remember that we met in New York. Well, I mean, met as in I asked him for a picture. But Angela Yee and Charlamagne the God, they both gave their spinoff, their take, and they say that the album goes hard. And after listening to the album itself, Charlamagne said that man is ill. Not necessarily in a bad way, but this was the album that I was looking for from artists. Now, we all know rappers out there that they're trying to go on with that latest trend, right? Because it's what's selling right now is, okay, what other artist is doing the same thing? Okay, let's make that, let's do that, but let's make it different. Kendrick Lamar's album, and I'm not just a Kendrick Lamar fanboy, but Kendrick Lamar himself, when he raps, I like all his songs because his songs have a meaning. His songs have a meaning. It has purpose. It has real life experiences. And that's what you guys are going to hear in this album. He's going through daddy issues. He's going through money issues. He's gone through COVID. He's gone through relationships. He's gone through money management and record labels. You're going to hear all of that in this album. And one thing I like about this album in particular is because I've noticed every song has one beat, one tone, and you're vibing with it. And to me, the tone switches. Like it switches out, guys. And it sounds like a completely different song, but it's the same song. And that's what I think Kendrick Lamar had it made really well, is because I heard one part of the song, one tone of the song, one symphony, one harmony, but then it's like a complete switch real quick, but then he switches it back. That's creative art, in my opinion. And I'm trying to master that too when I make my music, because I've never heard something like that before, where you're going to one harmony, one symphony, and then you complete switch it up on them. It's crazy. Joe Budden, shout out to Joe Budden. He probably don't know who I am either, but the Joe Budden podcast, that's a great podcast, guys, to listen to on Spotify and YouTube. Their video version, they're just funny. I like Ice and Ish and Joe Budden and Mel. Those guys are really good at their podcasting too. But Joe Budden said that Kendrick Lamar is at the top of his game, right? Because it's been a while since Kendrick Lamar had his latest album out, right? It's been a while. And, you know, with COVID, and he said he's been isolating for 2 years. And maybe this was something he's been working on that we just never knew. We never read the signs. We never knew. Until this year, I think this was August when it was announced, and it was all on the Shade Room and all the other news platforms that, hey, May 13th, Kendrick Lamar's latest album. So in August, we knew the album was coming out. But before that, we did not know Kendrick was working on something. I thought he was just resting easy, taking a break. But this is it. Now, it is sad to see, and this is, you know, speculation, and the speculation is kind of real, guys. I did hear that this is his last album, so I think he might just be retiring after this. And, you know, Kendrick Lamar retiring after this album wouldn't be a bad thing, because Kendrick Lamar has made his money. He's made his mark. He's made his legends. He made music for the greater wise of great listeners. So he has done it. He has made his fortune. Do I think he'll stop making collab music, maybe hopping on somebody else's track? Probably not. But if he wanted to retire after this album, he could. He really could. Now, my favorite from the album, and I really do wish that I can play some music for you guys, but we don't have it in our system to play music. Not this album, because we don't have the rights to. So I would have loved to play have the rights to play these songs. But my favorite is N95. That's one song from his album. Father Time is a good one. That song really is interesting, because you're gonna hear his daddy issues, right? And we all have been through something. I can't say that I've had huge daddy issues. That's not what I'm saying, but I've had family problems before, and you know, it's not, my family problems wasn't as deep as Kendrick Lamar's, obviously, but we all been through something. And in that song, he's telling, it's okay for you to be a grown man and go through something. It's okay to be a grown man and cry and have daddy issues, because it's true. Kendrick Lamar said it in one of the one of his verses in the song. You know, he didn't say it like this, but you can kind of pick up on it, where we're taught as men, we're taught to not cry. We were taught to be strong and to be unvulnerable and then just be the tough guys, right? But it's okay to let go. It's okay to have spiritual healing. It's okay to go to therapy, right? And I speak on therapy because there's a whole lot of therapy talk in this song. And then this whole album is about Kendrick Lamar going through therapy, going through something, telling us his story, his daddy issues, his kid issues, this is the name for it, his baby mama issues. Like, he shows us in this album what he's been going through. Of course, he did. I don't know, and a lot of people think that he shaded Kanye West and Drake, because in one of the songs, I think this was Worldwide Steppers, in that song where his verse was, it was a little bit weird to see Ye and Drake back together again. I can't recite the actual verse, guys, but he says that, and I think this was Worldwide Steppers. He said that song. A lot of people think he shaded them two. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe because I know Drake is going to be next, right? Drake is going to be next with his next album. Kanye, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes next with his album, but he already had Donda and then now Donda 2. So I think if he's making another album right after those two, kudos to him. That's him getting his money. But Drake is going to be next. Of course, he had the legends of Summer Walker in this album. He had Ghostface in this album. Kodak Black is in this album. Baby Keem and Sam Dew is in this album. So he has legends in this album, guys. So it's very interesting. And then of course he has some newer artists, Amanda Reifer and Senpai. I don't know those two artists, but it's good to see. Oh, and Summer Walker. You can't forget about Summer Walker, guys. She's in this album too. So this is a great album. I really recommend you guys take a listen. If you do have Spotify, of course you can get it, obviously. This is an album you guys do not want to sleep on. I wouldn't want to sleep on this album, because This is a great album. Honestly, it shows us his pain. It shows us his things he's going with. He talks heavily about COVID-19 in this album too, as artists, as any artist would in their latest album as of late. They're going to talk about something about politics and COVID. So it's a great album. Kendrick Lamar, man, if you are somehow, and I seriously doubt it, but if I'm lucky that you're listening or watching to today's podcast, you made a good album, man. He's made plenty of good albums, right? And not discrediting his old work, because I think and I got to go through Spotify again to get the actual name of his albums. He did do a Black Panther type of album that I actually genuinely enjoy the most out of his albums, because it's, you know, from the movies. But of course he did the Damn album, of course, the Black Panther, to Pimp a Butterfly. A lot of people like that one. My personal favorite was Good Kid, Mad City. That was my personal favorite from old Kendrick Lamar. Not to say Overly Dedicated wasn't good and Family Ties wasn't good. I like Good Kid, Mad City the most. And I think actually the Good Kid, Mad City Deluxe, and I'll show you guys how big of a fan I am. I actually have that on vinyl in my house. So just to show you guys a little bit about me, about Kendrick Lamar, because he is that rapper that's first of all, for our community, obviously. He's with the Black Power and for our community, and he expresses more in his lyrics that, you know, rappers tend to lack, right? So Kendrick Lamar, again, he's made his album. He's made the mark there. Moving on to our next segment before we go to commercial break, because it looks like we're going to need that commercial break, because I've got 2 more segments to talk about. Of course, we got to talk real quick about Selling the OC. Of course, Netflix's spinoff show from the Selling Sunshine and the Selling Tampa series. Of course, they've got another new spinoff show called Selling the OC. Of course, you got a branch of new cast, branch of new realtors, and they're going to be in the great city of the OC. I think this is a smart move. Now, I got to say this because we got to dabble, because it started with Selling Sunset, and that show, the first couple seasons was fantastic because there were drama, but mostly they're having us being educated about real estate. Now, I'm a little bit nervous because Selling Tampa, and I'm really mad at that, because Selling Tampa, that's our people, that's our culture, that's my community, beautiful minority women selling real estate. That first season was all about the drama. Of course, everybody's talked about it. I've talked about it before in the podcast. DJ Envy talked about it on the Breakfast Club, and he did get some backlash about it. And then they came to the actual show to show him up. And that to me, that was a little bit funny, but I hope this next spinoff show has keep the drama, right? So drama sells, and that's with every show, every movie. Drama will sell, but continue to educate us about real estate, because that was the sole purpose. That's why people got so hooked in Selling Sunset the first 3 seasons, because yes, there were drama, right? But there was a little bit more about real estate. It's about property management. It was about real estate companies. Jason and Brett Oppenheim being very successful. That's the show I want to see. And it's smart. Brett and Jason, they're expanding. Hey, they got more content coming out. These brothers, they're doing it. They're doing the darn thing. I just don't want to see so much of the drama where I tune out, because I'll be honest, when I watched season 5, the latest season of Selling Sunset, it was a little bit more drama, and I kind of tuned out a little bit. I did, because it was just like, okay, this is not the show. This is not the show I remember watching season 1 and season 2 of, where I got really hooked and I binge watched it. Season 5 was like, okay, another reality drama show. Okay, next. That's just how I feel. So I want Selling the OC to be informational. I want it to teach me something. Teach me how to invest in real estate. Teach me how to sell a house, right? And I'm not saying everyone can do it, guys, but teach me these realms of things, because I want to know. I want to know. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we've got so much to talk more about on today's show, K.L.P Aftermath, Season 3, the hottest show right now. Stay tuned, guys.
Hey, what up, fam? It's your boy Kendrick Lamar. Y'all listen to my man Kennedy Lakers on that show, K.P Aftermath. This the hottest show, and right now, stay tuned.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. K.L.P Aftermath Season 3, the hottest show right now in Atlanta, the hottest podcast, might I add. Season 3, 3 seasons, strong, guys. And of course, we're getting ready to, we did announce a new show, K.L.P in the morning, Saturdays, and a little bit of Sundays too, at the Mark Studio. That's over at the Robert Woodruff Library, Emory University, the Atlanta campus. We'll be back in that studio May 21st. I almost blanked out on the date there, T. May 21st in the studio to bring you guys another episode. And I talked about earlier today's show, in today's show, about the men's NCJAA, or is it NJCAA? I'm getting them letters mixed up now, T, now that I think about it. But you guys get the point. We talked about that tournament over at Oxford College of Emory University, and that's why we will not be podcasting K.L.P in the morning tomorrow, because we'll be over at Oxford to watch, because I'm covering a media part for the tournament for the podcast for you guys. So lots to do, lots of things planned, but we just got to get into it. And of course, we have to talk about some news announcements relating to some great news. Of course, our front page news, and I'm so excited to talk about this one because this has been the topic of conversation today. Of course, the Nintendo Switch has outsold the PS4 in the US. Of course, that's very exciting news because the Nintendo Switch is pretty good, right? And it's primarily the OLED devices that are selling more than the day ones. And I actually talked kind of ill will about the Switch yesterday, and I feel kind of bad because I do have a Switch in my house, but I'm a little bit upset because, and I told my friend David, shout out to David and Keisha and Connor that came out to Connie house on my birthday. You guys are awesome, by the way. We were talking about gaming while we were eating our nice hibachi, and I don't know. Comment below, guys. Has there been any new Switch games come out lately? Because I find myself, and this is to be expected because my latest console I purchased was a PlayStation 5. Thank God I was able to get one of those. And I've been playing PlayStation 5 as of late. Obviously, that's the next newest console that's out right now. But I was a little bit bummed because I remember when I got my Switch, I was so excited for all the games to come out, but they haven't had any great games that I'm just like, wow, I gotta get it. Like, I thought that new Kirby game was gonna be exciting, but as I'm watching gameplay on YouTube, I'm like, okay, is this really worth the $50? Like, I would have picked that game up if it was $30, maybe $40, but $50 to $60 for that new Kirby game. And the gameplay is like, okay, is this worth that cost? Now, I'm that type of gamer, guys. Now, I'm a gamer at heart, believe it or not. I am a true gamer, but it comes at a price to be a gamer, right? Because games are expensive. Games are super, super expensive right now. $50, $60, and even for us PlayStation 5 owners, $70. That is crazy for a game, but that's the market right now. So I kind of took a break from Nintendo Switch, and it's been a minute since I haven't played my Switch in months in my house, T. And I'm kind of sad because, like, dang, I paid money for this console and I haven't been playing it that much. So it's just like, okay, what's going on? So maybe I'll get back into it. Definitely not selling it, definitely not giving it away, but it's just I really do hope Switch for me picks back up because I genuinely like the idea of the Switch. I love the Switch, right? Because I play Super Smash Brothers and Mario and Mario Kart 8, and those games are good, but I want something fresh. I want something new. And I don't know, maybe Switch can pick it up a little bit. Maybe a lot of people are going for the OLED. I don't know. Maybe I got to get back into it. Maybe, hopefully, these games on Nintendo. Let me tell you, these Mario games, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is still $60, and that's a 7-year-old game now. So Nintendo's know what they're doing because people are going to pay that much. But it's hopefully they got some summer deals going on at Nintendo. But it's good to hear. Of course, the Nintendo Switch has now also the PS4, which is kind of crazy because PlayStation 4 has been coming back. And PlayStation 4 right now, GameStop's selling those things like hotcakes, like for $300, because the demand for the PlayStation 5 is high, but the supply is low. And now that they're able to do that, of course, the PlayStation 5 led April in dollar sales aligning. Of course, they saw retailers and more consoles in stock last month than the most of 2022. as followed by Xbox platform, and then Nintendo. So it is good to see that Nintendo's out there outselling PlayStation. Do I think Nintendo will outsell the PlayStation 5? Probably not. But PlayStation 4, that's the last gen console now. So a lot of people, if you don't have a PlayStation 4, you're probably looking to save money for the PlayStation 5. And I hope PlayStation 5 can get it in everyone's hands very, very soon, because let me tell you, and it's not me bragging on the show, but the PlayStation 5 is pretty awesome. So you don't want to skip out on that. The latest game I've got for PlayStation 5 is the Lego Star Wars, the Skywars Saga. That game is pretty good. A review coming very soon for that one. And and not trying to get off topic because we're talking about Nintendo, but I kind of veered to PlayStation a little bit. I bought Elden Ring, and that game is hard. If you guys don't know, Elden Ring is the latest game, which probably will win Game of the Year 2022. That game, guys, is hard. It's hard. Now, I get why people say they love the game, but they hate the game. I'm like that too, because I played a couple hours of it, and it's like, dang, I love this game, but I hate that I bought this game because I can't beat it. You know, it's just, I don't know. Moving on to our last segment today, and this was kind of my childhood. Well, I can't say childhood, but this was kind of everybody's thing before iPhones came. Of course, Apple will be saying farewell to the iPod. Now, this is a smart move by Apple, guys, because everyone doesn't use iPods anymore. You know, iPods are a thing of the past. iPods were the thing that everybody had, everybody wanted. I had the iPod Nano, I had the iPod 6th generation, I had the iPod 7th generation. I genuinely love the iPod, but iPod is discontinuing by Apple starting very, very soon. Apple realizes that everyone has iPhones. You got all these brand new iPhones coming out. Everyone's just using their iPhones. People are not really using their iPod as much. Because iPod, you can have wireless Wi-Fi, but if you actually bought an iPod and put a data plan on it, that's an iPhone now. You know, it's the same kind of concept. So nearly after 22 years, Apple has stopped production of the devices that changed customers' electronics and led to the creation of the iPhone, the iPod, obviously. The iPod began its modest goal: let's create a music product that makes people want to buy more. Of course, Macintosh computers, within a few years, it changed consumer electronics and music industry to lead to Apple become most valuable company in the world. Believe it or not, it wasn't the iPhone. I mean, iPhone's pretty good. I have one. Everyone has an iPhone. But honestly, the Mac computers and the iPod was very revolutionary, because you can download and get songs right in your pocket. And there's no pun, because Steve Jobs said that he said it in his interview, and then Michael Fassbender said it because he played Steve Jobs in a movie. But it's true. It's, music in your pocket. And at that time, everyone didn't know. Of course, it's first arriving in October 2001. Of course, I didn't get an iPod until 2007 or 8, because in 2001, this is a thing we didn't know, and we were not familiar with Apple. My family was not familiar with Apple at the time, especially in 2001. I think I was way too young. I was 5 in 2001, 4 or 5 in 2001. So it's sad. It's sad to me, but this makes sense because there's not really much you can do with the iPod. There's not so much newer innovation Apple can do when it comes to the iPod, because they're doing so many great innovations when it comes to the iPhone, right? And Apple, with their iPhones, guys, they have carriers. You have T-Mobile's all over it, AT&T's all over it, with the deals and the innovations and the changes and the payment plans of your phone. That's the market right now. I can honestly say, if I had an iPod, I probably wouldn't use it that much, because I'm so glued to my phone, right? And it's just one of those things that a lot of people are paying money to get newer iPhones. I can't wait till my phone plan pays off, guys, so I can upgrade my phone. So iPhones are the thing, is the iPod. iPhones is the way to get music. And nowadays, who still uses iTunes, by the way? Comment below. If you're still using iTunes to get music, you are an OG, because that is so old. a lot of us, we stream our music, right? There's the streaming service, there's Spotify, there's Pandora, there's Stitcher Podcast, there's Amazon. So a lot of people, most of us, 99.9% of us still are using streaming services. Now, if you're in that 0.1% that still uses iTunes, and believe it or not, I've met some people way older than me, coaches, professors, they're still using iTunes, and it's funny because it's just like that's so 2008. No one uses iTunes really anymore. iTunes is still available if you have to reset your phone and you have to use iTunes to connect and reset and all that, but no one really uses iTunes anymore. It's all about the streaming services. So it's sad to say, and I'm very curious now that we have a little bit of time, T, I'm gonna go to the Apple Store right now live because we making the show very interesting. I want to know how much the iPods go for now since they're discontinuing. I'm searching on Google, just iPod, and I'm gonna go to the Apple Store. See, and with this price, you might as well get an iPhone. Of course, the latest iPod Touch goes at $200 right now. With all the Retina and the Apple Arcades and the more spaces, usually with $200, you might as well get an iPhone with that kind of price. So that's probably why Apple smart with it. Apple know like this is not making us money because $200, that's what we're retailing it. People are just gonna get an iPhone. That way you can do calling. So again, it's very interesting. And of course, Walmart has the 6th generation for $189. Best Buy has it. Oh, this is even worse. Best Buy has it, guys. The iPod Touch 7th generation for $230. So again, you might as well get an iPhone if you're going to spend that kind of money on that. Very, very interesting. While we're still at it, the iPod Shuffle, because I did have one of those. Those were pretty nice back in the day. Okay, so the iPod Shuffle from eBay, it goes for $50. Amazon has it for no, that's a spinoff. That's a knockoff. You guys, if you guys remember the iPod Nano, I remember the iPod Nano. Those go for $169 right now. See, again, you might as well just go for an iPhone because the iPod Nano, the newer one, the 7th generation is one that had a screen on it. Those goes Walmart has it for $200. Somebody's selling it on eBay, the iPod Classic. Now, I didn't have an iPod Classic, but I had quite a few buddies back in middle school that had the iPod Classic. And I swear to you guys, they felt like they were the man and the woman having one of these because this was something that everyone had. I didn't have one, but everyone had one and they thought they were the coolest people in middle school having the iPod Classic. Shout out to the iPod Classic. If you had one, what color was yours? Of course, somebody's selling it on eBay for $70. I actually would pay $70 for an iPod Classic. I actually would. And of course, and that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, iPod, that's the history right now. iPod's the thing of the past, but I'm sure a lot of Apple fans will go out and buy an iPod. I keep saying iPod for nostalgic reasons. I probably would buy an iPod Classic for $70 for nostalgic reasons. Even maybe the latest iPod I would buy for nostalgic reasons because you can still get streaming services. You just need Wi-Fi for that. So shout out to Apple, shout out to the iPod, rest in peace to the iPod, because after this next year and a half, they are going to discontinue production of the iPod. So I wonder, but I do wonder though, T, this is the question. This is the last question for the podcast. Is Apple planning up for something? They're discontinuing the iPod. Are they making something new in that variation? That is the question I propose to everyone tonight on the radio show. Very, very interesting. So that's going to wrap it up here on today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. We got you a good one today. Please stay tuned. Of course, I believe Monday we're going to be coming back for another episode of K.L.P Aftermath Season 3. And as always, I like to say, stay safe to everyone. Please be sure to wear a mask. We're still in the pandemic. We're still having COVID spreading around. And please be sure to drink water every 15 minutes, guys. It is May. We're about to hit middle of May. Summer is here. Went out to the NJCAA men's championship in Oxford, Emory University, and it was hot. It was about 90 degrees, it felt like. So drink water, stay hydrated. stay indoors, have the AC going, so that way you guys don't get dehydrated. So that's going to wrap it up here on today's show. I've been your host, K.L.P Lucas. Stay safe, stay swanky.